believe that amongst the Republican models, the one that has just got 73 votes is clearly preferred. Now, when you bind those two together, it would be a travesty in common sense terms of Australian democracy for that proposition not to be put to the Australian people.
This was the best republic that the best brains of the Republican movement could come up with, and it could only get 45% support, and that is a credit to the healthy scepticism of the Australian people when faced with change for change's sake and a dud model republic.
I have no problem with the fact that the Queen lives in England. I have no problem with the fact that our legal system is essentially English. I have no problem with the fact that our constitutional system is British. I have no problem with the fact that we speak the English language. You know, after independence in America, there were even suggestions that they might change the national language, and of course they didn't. There is nothing wrong with our having a Queen who's also the Queen of Canada. Think in terms of Canada. Canada is one of the top countries in the world. She sits in the old G7 and G8. She's a NATO power, a leading NATO power, and she's also a part of the NAFTA system, which governs North American economic matters. And yet she has no problems whatsoever. There's no movement to remove the Queen from being the Queen of Canada. She's highly respected there. There is no advantage in removing the Queen from our Constitution. But what is being proposed is to remove the institution of the Crown from the Constitution. Now, until the Republicans become serious and develop a Constitution, Pat Lane, who was the great professor of constitutional law at Sydney, said they really had to rewrite the Constitution. Until they develop a constitutional model which is better than the existing one, they will get nowhere with the Australian people. The Australian people are far too smart to let through a significant change in the Constitution. And that is the problem that the Republican movement has. We can't change our Constitution on emotions about whether Princess Charlotte is better than some little child in our family. That's not the consideration. The true consideration, above all, is the Constitution. And we must preserve the Australian Constitution, and we must remember that the Australian people decided very clearly, without any dissent whatsoever on the point of the Crown, that they would unite, humbly relying on the blessing of Almighty God, into an indissoluble federal commonwealth under the Crown. And that's how it will remain unless and until the Australian people decide to change it.